Since your strength has been restored, let's begin. This is the map of the Forbidden Area, Ice and Fire Underground Palace of the Mystic Bird Clan. Keep it safe. Because the Ice and Fire Underground Palace is incredibly complex, we paid a great price to find its entrance. But I must warn you, although this map was hard-earned by us, the dangers within are still unknown and need to be explored. After Xiao Yin had recovered the doqi he expended during the battle, Deputy Clan Leader Feng Wan stepped forward, took out a silver scroll, and frowned as she spoke. Her voice carried a sense of urgency and heaviness that was hard to hide. Xun'er's matter cannot be delayed. It must be resolved immediately. Xiao Yan's gaze flickered, and then he turned to look at Xun'er. There was no time to waste now. Once the reincarnation seal on Xun'er flared up, the excruciating pain would be unbearable. Just seeing it pained Xiao Yan deeply. No matter how dangerous the Ice and Fire Underground Palace was, he had to venture into it. Xiao Yan Gij, I'll go with you. After a moment, Xun'er looked at Xiao Yan's stern face, gritted her teeth, and spoke to him. Ridiculous. The forbidden area of the Mystic Bird Clan is no child's play. Xiao Yan scolded, his face serious, clearly not wanting Xun'er to accompany him. You both must go together. The reincarnation seal inside her and the power of the sacred flame might play a crucial role at a key moment. Moreover, the five-legged golden crow is a divine artifact. Even if you defeat the guardian in the end, without her, you won't be able to approach it, let alone claim it. Deputy Clan Leader Feng Wan spoke with a deep tone. After establishing a set of rules, everything here was finally settled. Ryup. This is a dimensional rift, leading to the forbidden area of the Mystic Bird Clan. You have 3 days. In these 3 days, I will hold back the strong cultivators above the third-tier reincarnation stage of the Mystic Bird Clan. If there is no result after 3 days, you must return immediately. Here is the map. And here is the hourglass. Go. With a flick of her jade-like hand, the void before them was torn open. The key items for this journey were handed to the two of them. Whoosh. Xiao Yan and Xun'er grabbed the items and immediately stepped into the rift. Deputy Clan Leader, isn't this a bit too rushed? Once Xiao Yan and Xun'er disappeared and the rift closed, Elder 5 voiced his concern. Entrusting the fate of the entire clan to these two outsiders seemed too far-fetched, didn't it? If they failed, the Mystic Bird Clan's wrath would be directed at the Heavenly Phoenix Clan, and the two clans would go to war. With the five-legged Golden Crow's backing, the Mystic Bird Clan would be nearly invincible. Foolish kindness. This is her reincarnation, her fate. Let's hope they succeed. If so, we will have a chance to target the Phoenix Clan. Since the matter with the Master of the 9 Mystical Flames, the Phoenix Clan has not appeared for countless years. Even the spatial passage between us and them has been completely severed. What has happened to the Phoenix Clan? We do not know. As for their mission, whether they succeed or fail, it is urgent because the Phoenix Stone is about to emerge. A distant voice echoed, and the area returned to calm. Rip. A cold, eerie wind swept through, and a dark void suddenly twisted. 2 figures silently stepped out. Such a strange space. Cold ice power. Fire power? As soon as they arrived, Xiao Yan focused his gaze and spirit, but the feedback he received was a terrifying sensation. In the darkness, all that could be seen were countless black cracks branching in all directions, like deep ravines, resembling an abyssal world of unfathomable darkness. The Ice and Fire Underground Palace. There are too many paths here. Even true experts from the Mystic Bird Clan might not easily navigate the route to where the divine artifact is sealed. Xun'er shook her head. This dark void was filled with a rare power, one that seemed to slowly consume their sanity. Fear spread continuously. However, since both of them wielded the sacred flame, the flames that appeared were enough to temporarily fend off this mysterious power. Do you sense anything? After scanning the area and finding no signs of enemies or suspicious auras, Xiao Yan furrowed his brow and asked Xun'er. Not for now. It seems the reincarnation seal and the 5-legged golden crow are still quite far. The sensing is too weak. Xun'er shook her head. The reincarnation seal had not emitted any fluctuations. Let's move and see. To avoid being exposed, Xiao Yin led Xun'er to move through the dark abyss. With the map's guidance, they encountered no creatures along the way and easily moved toward the depths of the ice and fire underground palace. This dark world, like a fallen hell beneath the earth, was eerie and profound. Cold winds blew along the way, chilling to the bone. However, they had yet to encounter any flames, leaving them puzzled about the ice and fire underground palace. Before long, the two followed the map's guidance and arrived deep within the ice and fire underground palace. According to the map's markers, this should be the entrance to the realm that seals the divine artifacts. Such cold, icy power. And this flame energy is unlike any ordinary flame. When they reached a narrow ravine within the dark abyss, Xiao Yin and Xun'er stopped, gazing at the intersection of the transparent river and flames before them. A long-forgotten sense of heart-pounding anxiety began to stir. According to the map provided by Vice Clan leader Fengwan, this was the entrance to the Mystic Bird Clan's forbidden area, and also the place that imprisoned the five-legged golden crow. A long, colorless river flowed quietly, with flickers of fiery red flames intermittently appearing above it, creating an eerie sight. This space should be beneath the Mystic Bird Clan, and there are subtle but extraordinary auras here. We should be cautious, Xiao Yin said with a slight smile, his eyes fixed on the entrance. Yes, the fluctuations of the reincarnation seal are emanating from here. Xun'er nodded softly, her long eyelashes fluttering. The reincarnation seal on her forehead emitted a golden glow, causing waves of pressure to ripple through her delicate form. Rip? Xiao Yin stepped forward first, entering the icy cold current. White frost surged up from beneath his feet. A biting cold struck him, as if his very soul and blood were freezing in an instant. Boom, boom. Fortunately, the glazed flame erupted just in time, quickly enveloping his body, and the coldness weakened somewhat. Otherwise, the extreme chill would have instantly turned him into an ice sculpture. Boom, boom. Walking across the surface of the colorless river, no matter how intense the heat from the fiery red flames, it didn't affect the two of them in the slightest. Whoosh, whoosh. With a sound, the colorless river and the flames intertwined. The void above the river slightly distorted, and in the blink of an eye, both were swallowed by the space. Thus, Xiao Yin and Xun'er safely entered the core of the ice and fire underground palace, the place that suppressed the five-legged golden crow. Bang, bang, bang. Is that the master's scent? Suddenly, in the dark void, the still surface of a lake violently churned, water columns rising from beneath the already frozen lake, sending countless sprays into the air. At the same time, a rare beastly growl was heard, accompanied by a golden flame, so intense it seemed capable of burning the entire void. It echoed across the sky. The ice and fire underground palace. This was a dim, silent void, devoid of any vitality, without any living beings, resembling a deathly zone. Remaining in such an extreme state of silence for too long could gradually erode one's sanity, and those with weak wills would easily be obliterated here. The only notable feature in the void was a massive lake, almost 100 feet wide. The lake had no water left, only layers of ice that had long since sealed its surface, revealing its true form. Looking down, the bottom of the lake in the dark void was covered with patches of icy blocks glowing white. These blocks, formed over countless years, contained an overwhelming cold energy. A strange mist hovered above the lake, exuding a chilling, ice-sealing aura that spread across the lake's surface. The ice blocks emitted sharp white light, and even the ice floe contained floating red flames like little lanterns. These flames lay dormant, yet the violent power within them made both Xiao Yin and Xun'er wary. Within the frozen river, a terrifyingly cold force lingered. Even with Xiao Yan's strength, his body shuddered upon contact, and the flames floating in midair contained an unusual force, putting him in a precarious situation. Beneath the center of the frozen lake and river, a hazy form seemed to appear. Faintly, it could be sensed, a massive, serpent-like body over 100 feet long, its golden-scaled limbs radiating with golden flames in its eyes. Its claws were marked with 5-pronged imprints, but its body was bound and suppressed by layers of ice locks. The oppressive force stirred the very energy of this space. Thud! A roar shook the world, and shards of ice exploded from the frozen river. The gigantic beast raised its head from beneath the river, glaring at Xiao Ye and Xun'er in the sky. "Boy, who are you?" The massive creature, its golden head emerging from the ice-covered lake, fixed its fiery gaze on Xun'er. The golden flames in its eyes began to drip, coiling around her body. Whoosh! Whoosh! However, as their footsteps stepped onto the frozen surface of the lake, white mist began to swirl out from it, completely disregarding the protection of the two's sacred flames, slowly creeping up their ankles and eventually seeping into their skin. Boom! The sensation of freezing instantly gripped them. Without a second to hesitate, Xiao Ye unleashed his soul power, augmenting it to reduce the pressure. Otherwise, they would find themselves in grave danger from that chill. "Senior, we are here to rescue you." As they reached the center of the lake and looked down at a massive gap in the ice stretching several dozen meters, Xiao Ye spoke, though he remained highly vigilant of his surroundings, perplexed by the sight before him. Wasn't it said that the ice and fire underground palace was guarded by powerful beings? Why would they encounter this individual so easily? It seemed contrary to reason. Good, good, good. It seems the master has not fallen. This time, we will make those damned phoenixes pay the price. The colossal beast let out a howl, its majestic golden aura scattering around like a blazing sun, causing noticeable melting on the surrounding frozen lake. Five-clawed golden crow. "Master, what exactly is happening?" Xun'er's voice grew hoarse, and she gently crouched down, extending her palm toward the golden flames surrounding the five-clawed golden crow. Her slender jade hand touched the golden flames, producing a crisp sound, which transformed into a pure energy that silently merged into the reincarnation seal in her forehead. Xun'er's delicate brows furrowed slightly, clearly processing the information conveyed by the five-clawed golden crow, while Xiao Ye tactfully kept a lookout, protecting her. How can this be? After a few breaths, Xun'er, understanding much from the feedback of the information, realized that the five-clawed golden crow wielded power comparable to the third-tier reincarnation stage. It was the spirit of the sacred flame, a divine artifact. When combined with the sacred flame, its power was limitless, representing the signature skill of the master of the 9 mystical flames. "I know your intentions, but the constraints here in the ice and fire underground palace are too strong for me, and there are other ancient remnants of the mystic bird clan present." The five-clawed golden crow raised its massive eyes, staring at the swirling void above, which began to distort as a powerful aura was about to emerge. "Xun'er, be careful." Xiao Ye frowned, spreading his arms to shield her, his expression heavy as he observed the void in the sky. Amid the dim, writhing sky, a figure clad in gray robes gradually materialized. Five-clawed golden crow, nearly a millennium of imprisonment, and yet your violent killing intent remains unquenched. At that moment, the entire void grew dark as an old man slowly stepped out from the space above the ice and fire underground palace. The instant he stepped out, the world fell silent. Even the blood within Xiao Ye froze in an instant. "Trash of the mystic bird clan. Is that you, Xuan Ye?" The beast's eyes filled with a sense of readiness, and it spoke coldly, transforming its voice into a wild golden light wheel that surged directly toward the figure in the void. "Pfft." Xuan Ye smiled faintly, extending his decrepit, dark yellow hand as he grasped, obliterating the golden light wheel into countless specks of dust, filling the ice and fire underground palace with an unusual sense of oppression. Surrounding Xuan Ye, crimson flames swirled like a vortex, accompanied by sharp and rapid sounds of wind cutting through the air, sending chills through anyone present. The mystic bird clan. In that moment, the atmosphere within the ice and fire underground palace became utterly frozen. It seems this time we've drawn in a big fish. Our years of planning were not in vain. A hint of satisfaction appeared in Xuan Ye's deep-set eyes, and then a powerful aura erupted from his being, amplifying the chilling influence and fiery power within the ice and fire underground palace. "You old bastard," the outcome is far from certain. The five-clawed golden crow, brimming with hostility, roared, its golden flames swirling in its eyes. Heh, this time, I will entirely crush you here. A divine artifact should display the might of a divine artifact. And you, the reincarnation seal of the master of the 9 mystical flames. This time, fortune is truly on my side. Xuan Ye's eyes sparkled with madness as he fixated on the five-clawed golden crow and Xun'er, his laughter sounding as lunatic as it was menacing. Not just a quasi-third-tier reincarnation stage, but a true third-tier reincarnation stage? A heavy sense of foreboding surged within Xiao Ye. With his strength, facing a quasi-third tier should be manageable. However, if it were truly a third-tier reincarnation stage, the pressure would multiply. You insufferable fool! A roar erupted, and suddenly, a surge of golden flames erupted from beneath the frozen lake surface. The overwhelming spectacle was akin to hundreds of volcanoes erupting simultaneously. The searing heat transformed this place into a true molten world. Crack! The five-legged golden crow's body surged, but beneath the lake, chains of white, cold, shadowy shackles tightly bound its body to the lake's surface. No matter how it struggled, it could not break free. Thus, it could only project its terrifying attack towards the gray-robed figure in the sky. The golden flames howled, like a blazing sun rising from the lake's surface, charging fiercely towards the figure above. The sharp energy actually caused the void to hum with pain. Humph! Xuan Ye casually waved his hand, and fiery red flames appeared, eventually forming a fiery vortex in front of him. The vortex swirled and spun, with countless reincarnation powers spreading out. Under the pressure, it easily swallowed the attack released by the five-legged golden crow. As the vortex swirled again, the terrifying golden flames were effortlessly extinguished. In the vortex of flames, Xuan Ye, draped in a gray robe, wore a strange, sinister smile, his expression filled with a mad, devilish delight. Though the five-legged golden crow was powerful, after being imprisoned and suppressed for countless years, its strength had greatly diminished. Furthermore, with the peculiar powers of the Ice and Fire Underground Palace, even his third-tier reincarnation stage was enough to contend with this artifact, whose strength was nearly at the fifth-tier reincarnation stage. The five-legged golden crow was both the spirit of sacred flame and an artifact. However, to tame this artifact, one must either gain its approval or subdue it. Only then could it become the 17th artifact of the human realm, to be used by future generations. Looking at Xuan Ye's terrifying techniques in the void, Xiao Yan's face turned grave. This Xuan Ye of the Mystic Bird Clan, with his third-tier reincarnation stage, was absolutely one of the most troublesome opponents he had encountered so far. And the attack just unleashed was certainly a tricky one. This journey to the Ice and Fire Underground Palace was bound to be extremely dangerous. You think escaping the Ice and Fire Underground Palace is that easy? But you no longer have a chance. Ha ha ha. A crazed laugh echoed, sounding like a demon's, and immediately, within the entire Ice and Fire Underground Palace, the frozen mist and dormant flames began to stir. They released a mysterious and terrifying aura that surged relentlessly. He had guarded this forbidden area for countless years and tried numerous methods, yet he could not subdue the five-legged golden crow. But now, with Xun'er, bearing the reincarnation seal of the master of the 9 mystical flames, he saw a glimmer of hope. As long as he obtained the 17th artifact, even the clan leader of the Mystic Bird Clan would dare not defy him. Moreover, there was hope to journey to the Phoenix Clan and pursue the Supreme Phoenix Way. How long will it take? Xiao Yan gazed at Xuan Ye's maniacal expression and turned his head slightly to ask Xun'er, his eyes locked on Xuan Ye. 5 minutes. Xun'er was slightly surprised. She hadn't expected Xiao Yan to know about her bond with the five-legged golden crow. She clenched her teeth and replied, since the reincarnation seal and the five-legged golden crow were one, and now that the spirit of sacred flame was trapped, she could use the powers of both the reincarnation seal and the sacred flame to free it from its suffering. But it would take time. It would take considerable time. All right. Focus on dealing with this situation. Leave the rest to me. Don't overdo it. After speaking, Xiao Yin waved his hand, sending a powerful wave of soul power and sacred flame aura, pushing Xun'er down to the lake surface. The breach was tightly sealed with his power. Once this was done, an overwhelming battle intent erupted from Xiao Yan's body. Glazed flames swept across the area, and a battle soul illusion, over 100 meters tall, appeared behind him. Unlike before, this time, a pair of glazed wings sprouted from the battle soul. As the wings unfolded, waves of ancient power spread out. This was Xiao Yan's new understanding of sacred flame, his newly derived technique, glazed sacred wings. As for its power, Xiao Yan couldn't yet know, since this was the first time using it. But with his growing mastery of the sacred flame and sacred inscriptions, as well as the appearance of the mysterious fire cauldron after using the burning decision, his command over sacred flame had become increasingly refined. You control the sacred flame. Since you dared to enter my clan's forbidden area today, prepare to leave your life behind. Xuan Ye's palm began to churn, and a wave of reincarnation pressure spread out, combining with the two distinctly different forces within the ice and fire underground palace. The result was that Xiao Yan's body began to hum with vibrations. Glazed sacred wings. The battle soul surged, and a violent killing intent manifested. Then, the glazed fire wings gently flapped. With each flap, several glazed fire feathers fell. Wherever the feathers landed, the void was burned to ashes. Xinyu strangulation. Seeing Xiao Yan's calm and fearless demeanor, a sneer appeared on Xuan Ye's face. He extended his pale hand, and a red feather, engraved with countless mysterious patterns, appeared in the air. Allowing Xiao Yan's attacks to rampage, Xinyu didn't seem overly concerned. After a moment, a cold smile suddenly appeared at the corner of his mouth, and he swung his palm fiercely towards Xiao Yan's direction. Boom! Red feathers fell onto the lake's surface, causing the entire lake to buzz and hum. Some red mist even seeped from the feathers, soon transforming into countless red feathers that completely blocked all of Xiao Yan's escape routes. Within the red feathers, there seemed to be terrifying reincarnation fluctuations in the unique power of the mystic bird clan. Under this aura, it felt as if everything had fallen into a deadly silence. Explode! Green dragon scales covered Xiao Yan's body, and instantly, a heavy aura, along with the glazed double wings on his battle soul, began to shatter bit by bit, transforming into countless fiery halos, resembling a burst of fireworks. Boom! The two forces collided, sending sparks flying in the dimly lit ice and fire underground palace. Terrifying energy ripples spilled out everywhere, and the exceptionally sturdy lake surface cracked with visible fissures, as if it would completely shatter at any moment. After the strike failed, Xiao Yan's body hummed. Despite the support of the dragon god transformation and sacred flame power, he felt a sense of powerlessness when facing Xuan Ye. Xuan Ye couldn't truly harm him, but similarly, with only the current strength, Xiao Yan knew that unless he used the sacred flame fusion or sacred inscription fusion, he wouldn't be able to shake Xuan Ye either. On the other side, the lake surface protected by Xiao Yan flared with golden fiery halos, faintly radiating ancient and vast fluctuations. Even Xuan Ye felt a shiver of unease from this power. Annoying fly, get out of my way. Xuan Ye's face darkened. He raised his palm and suddenly struck at Xiao Yan. Then, his speed skyrocketed, shooting directly towards the five-legged golden crow's prison. As long as I'm here, it won't be that easy. Xiao Yan sneered coldly, blocking Xuan Ye's path. A heavy aura emerged from the green dragon scales around him. With a loud dragon's roar, the figure of Baxia's dragon king appeared behind him, the sound of the roar lingering in the air. Roar! 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 Just as the ancient dragon's roar sounded, a faint phoenix cry echoed from Xuan Ye's body. The two powers clashed, neither seeming able to overpower the other. This power, it's the strength of the 9 dragon kings of the dragon clan. Xuan Ye's body stiffened, and a deep shock flickered in his heart. The power of the dragon kings was undoubtedly powerful, and this boy was truly a treasure. Baxia's shell. Suppress him. With his increasing strength, Baxia's shell was no longer just a defensive tool. The heavy aura of Baxia's Dragon King was like a mountain, capable of briefly imprisoning and suppressing an enemy. This was one of Xiao Yan's insights into his own reincarnation. After the reincarnation, Xiao Yan's internal power and mastery of various Do techniques and the sacred flame far exceeded what he was capable of before. Whum! Whum! Under Xiao Yan's precise control, the green Baxia shell transformed into a giant cage covered with countless green dragon runes, cutting through the void and launching at Xuan Ye with an overwhelming suppressive force. Phoenix Cry. Facing the crisis, Xuan Ye dared not be careless. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and immediately, a mysterious drop of blood floated before him. The mysterious blood drop had an amber transparent color. Though it was no bigger than a fingertip, the power within it made even Xiao Yan slightly stunned. Phoenix, essence blood? How is this possible? The next moment, it was Xiao Yan's turn to be shocked. At the start of the battle, Xiao Yan's vast soul power had sensed that this person possessed an incomprehensibly strong power. He hadn't used his most powerful array or other ultimate techniques to eliminate him immediately, thinking that perhaps it wasn't necessary. However, he hadn't expected that this person possessed Phoenix Essence Blood. Essence Blood was undoubtedly the most precious thing for magical beasts, a drop of which could fill the vast ocean. Not to mention that Xuan Ye was a strong member of the Mystic Bird Clan, a vassal of the Phoenix Clan, possessing a drop of Phoenix Essence Blood. Wouldn't his power increase exponentially? Big brother Xiao Yan, let me do it. Just as the array symbols within Xiao Yan's body began to stir, a sweet, light voice floated from beside him. A golden streak of light suddenly flashed from beneath the lake's surface, carrying an exceptionally sacred golden flame, directly confronting Xuan Ye. Whoosh! With a soft sound, the golden flame flowed, and Xuan Ye's body was suddenly blasted back dozens of meters. The Phoenix Essence Blood in his hand also trembled slightly. Little brat. Ruining my plans. Xuan Ye's face changed drastically as he stared at Xun'er, who was enveloped by the golden aura. A surge of fury erupted within him. You of the Mystic Bird Clan suppressed the five-legged Golden Crow Senior for countless years. Now, let you taste the fury of a divine artifact. Xun'er moved gracefully, stepping out from the golden aura. On her slender wrist, a golden, blazing object, as hot and sacred as the sun, emitted terrifying and chaotic fluctuations of power. In an instant, Xuan Ye's expression once again turned greedy and crazed as he stared at the silver-white bracelet on Xun'er's wrist. On the bracelet, a five-legged golden crow quietly stood, but the bracelet was surrounded by countless ancient golden characters, the power contained within it, evident to the heavens and earth. The 17th artifact of the human realm, the specific manifestation of the five-legged golden crow, was undeniably this exquisite and translucent silver bracelet. The artifact bracelet hummed, and immediately behind Xun'er, a golden crow's body crawled forward. With a breath, it transformed into 10 golden, blazing suns, spreading out in a spiral. The 9 mystical reincarnation flames can summon 9 golden crows. Unexpectedly, this five-legged golden crow is the 10th one. The combined power of 10 golden crows. Xiao Yan stood quietly by the side. With the reincarnation seal, the 17th artifact, and the sacred flame all empowering Xun'er, her combat strength was now on par with Xuan Ye's, and perhaps even slightly overwhelming. Golden Crow's wrath. All life shall be buried. Five-legged golden claws. Without warning, the 10 golden crows glowed fiercely, their long claws raised, and their sharpness was self-evident. Boom! The 10 golden crows were as fierce as the scorching suns. In the blink of an eye, they reached out with their claws in succession, striking toward the void where Xuan Ye was. The void shattered, and an unusual sense of dispersion spread through the air. Phoenix power, heavenly phoenix. Sensing the impending threat of death, cold sweat beaded on Xuan Ye's forehead. Then, red flames twisted around the phoenix's essence blood and erupted in full force. A massive phoenix illusion, dozens of meters in size, enveloped Xuan Ye, its form shimmering with 5 colors, as if the energy of the heavens and earth could solidify within it. Stubborn fool. Artifact. At this moment, Xun'er, like an emissary controlling life and death, raised her jade hand. The bracelet on her wrist emitted a crisp sound, and a silver-colored golden crow illusion flickered to life. A silver streak of light then attached itself to the 10 golden crows. With another roar, the entire void cracked open, and the flames in the void instantly vanished. Even the ice-covered lake, imbued with cold energy, began to form cracks. Glub. Blood gushed from his mouth, and Xuan Ye was struck hard, his body exploding slightly. Damned brat, don't be reckless. Realizing that Xun'er intended to completely obliterate the last of his original source, Xuan Ye's fading soul and body quickly fled the ice and fire underground palace. 10. Golden crows. Sunlight. Xun'er's chest heaved violently. The artifact bracelet in her hand hummed, and the reincarnation seal on her forehead glowed with an intense, scorching wave of energy. In an instant, a golden aura and golden flames filled the ice and fire underground palace, creating an unprecedented weighty atmosphere. Is this 10 suns? Xiao Yin stood in shock, staring at the 10 suns hanging from the top of the sky. The power contained in each of them was enough to easily destroy this place. Humph! Seeing Xiao Yan's stunned expression, Xun'er seemed a little pleased, her delicate nose slightly tilted. Then, with a flick of her slender jade fingers, the 10 suns fell one by one. The heavens and earth shattered, and when the 10 suns touched the last of Xuan Ye's soul origin, there was no extra movement, only a mist that vaporized, and the man was utterly destroyed. Poof! After Xuan Ye's fall, Xun'er suddenly noticed that the artifact bracelet in her hand was uncontrollably reaching out toward the space behind her, as though it had consumed something. Spit it out. Xun'er raised her fair palm and looked at the artifact bracelet in her hand, speaking in a calm yet commanding voice. Hee, master. This will help me regain my strength. There's no need, right? The artifact bracelet stirred, then transformed into a 5-legged golden crow, hopping on Xun'er's palm. Hemph! Xun'er didn't seem to care and snorted coldly. This thing can guide us to the Phoenix clan. When we get there, I'll make those messy phoenix birds pay the price. The 5-legged golden crow reluctantly spat out a drop of phoenix essence blood from Xuan Ye's body, its face showing clear hatred. Though it was an artifact, it was also the spirit of the sacred flame. Unfortunately, Xun'er's sacred flame and reincarnation seal greatly suppressed its power. Moreover, the 5-legged golden crow's creation was a masterpiece of the master of the 9 mystical flames. During their travels through the great 1,000 worlds, it had already regarded him as its true father, while Xun'er, the reincarnator, had it willingly and devotedly under her command. So this is what's called Phoenix Essence Blood? Xiao Yin temporarily set aside the imposing aura of Xun'er, who stood as a goddess of war, and couldn't help but wonder how Xuan Ye, a powerhouse at the 3rd-tier reincarnation stage, could be so weak in her hands. He quickly focused on the drop of Phoenix Essence Blood. From it, Xiao Yin felt a chilling aura. This isn't Phoenix Essence Blood, or more accurately, it's only a half-finished product. It must be some leftover from the Phoenix clan's miscellaneous birds, though it contains mixed powers. The 5-legged golden crow glanced disdainfully with a single glance, then spoke with a hint of pride. Clearly, with its vast experience and arrogance, it found such things commonplace and beneath its notice, even more so than the 2 companions beside it. It felt it had more right to speak on the matter. Tear it. Xiao Yin carefully wrapped the half-finished blood essence in the purest soul power and the glazed sacred flame, taking great care as he stored it, then handed it over to Xun'er. I don't want it. Xun'er was slightly moved in her heart, but she turned away and shook her head. Take it. This thing has peculiar effects for you. If you give it to me, wouldn't it be a waste? Xiao Yin smiled, not caring for her objection, and directly placed it into Xun'er's arms. Let's leave here first. After completing everything, and finding no other disturbances in the ice and fire underground palace, Xiao Yin couldn't help but glance at the hourglass in his hand. There was little time left. He hurriedly retraced his steps. Woo-woo. The journey went extremely smoothly, with no other powerful beings blocking their path. They soon returned to the Heavenly Phoenix Clan's deep ravine forest. It seemed that the Heavenly Phoenix Clan's experts had restrained the high-ranking members of the Mystic Bird Clan, which allowed them to return so easily. Otherwise, it would have taken quite a bit of effort. Clan leader. Bad news from the Ice and Fire Underground Palace. Elder Xuan Ye has passed away. The experts from the Heavenly Phoenix Clan deliberately provoked us. It was just a distraction. Their real target was the divine artifact. In the center of the vast Mystic Bird Clan territory, several serious figures circled around a formation. The divine artifact's power was overwhelming. Even their clan's ancient monsters could not wield it. So it had always been suppressed in the Ice and Fire Underground Palace. The Ice and Fire Underground Palace posed a deadly threat to the Heavenly Phoenix Clan. But why were they able to infiltrate this time and take the divine artifact? Damn it! The situation is lost. A concealed thought flashed by, and the atmosphere here settled into silence. However, after some time, it seemed that the entire region would soon fall under the leadership of the Heavenly Phoenix Clan. Meanwhile, after about half an hour's journey, Xiao Ye and the others quietly returned to the heart of the Heavenly Phoenix Clan. Mission accomplished. Upon arriving back, they found the other figures had already disappeared, and only the vice-clan leader, Feng, was still there. Xiao Ye smiled brightly, but Xiao Ye forgot that both he and Xun'er possessed the sacred flame. Otherwise, just the Ice and Fire Underground Palace would have been dangerous enough, let alone obtaining the divine artifact. Looking up, Feng, her posture graceful and proud, stood still by the phoenix tree in the stone house, seemingly waiting for his return. Just as I thought. Hearing that familiar voice, Feng's eyes opened slightly, and a powerful phoenix cry echoed softly. Hee hee, Feng, little girl. I didn't expect that after 10,000 years, you've reached this realm. At the same time, as the phoenix cry rang out, the divine artifact bracelet in Xun'er's hand suddenly flashed and instantly transformed into a golden crow that circled around the room, its voice ancient and pleased. Senior five-legged golden crow, please do not tease the younger generation. Feng smiled lightly, then slowly stood up, her beautiful eyes showing great respect as she gazed at the five-legged golden crow. Even though its power was not at its peak, if she and it teamed up, the outcome would be uncertain. Now that the matters between the two clans are settled, could Senior please tell me the entrance to the Phoenix clan? Seeing the two old friends with such eager expressions, Xiao Ye quickly took the opportunity to ask. Feng, upon hearing Xiao Ye's question, remained silent and shook her head, as though she had some reservations. What's going on? At this moment, the atmosphere in the stone house suddenly grew tense, and Xiao Ye couldn't help but frown. This situation didn't seem like a good sign. Since the end of the first heavenly battle, the Phoenix clan disappeared from the eyes of the many forces in the Great Thousand Worlds, as if they had vanished. This event occurred after the Master of the Nine Mystical Flames left the Phoenix clan's territory. What exactly happened? You will have to ask your beloved. Feng spoke, then quickly turned her gaze toward the five-legged golden crow and Xun'er, clearly eager to know the truth. Because the Heavenly Phoenix clan had a faint chance of rebirthing and soaring across the seas. But all this depended on entering the Phoenix clan. I'll speak instead. The young master has not yet fully grasped the power of reincarnation. The five-legged golden crow's eyes flickered with a faint golden flame, and then it spoke slowly. After the heavenly battle, the Phoenix clan, Dragon clan, and other superpowers suffered significant injuries, and thus, they went into seclusion to recover. Although the extraterritorial evil clans receded, there were still some stubborn evil creatures eyeing the Great Thousand. The Master and several powerful beings volunteered to stay behind, but they suffered an unprecedented destructive blow. In the end, it was thanks to the Phoenix clan's clan leader at the time who saved them from falling. However, it is said that the Phoenix clan's leader was also punished for this. Afterward, I lost track of the news. However, the Master and the Phoenix clan's certain leader must have an inseverable connection. The five-legged golden crow nodded, trying hard to recall scenes from tens of thousands of years ago. As I suspected, everything is just as I imagined. However, now that the entrance to the Phoenix clan has been closed from our heavenly Phoenix domain, even if we unite the entire strength of our race, it would be futile. I fear that only that place holds any hope. Feng Luan spoke with agreement, as what the five-legged golden crow said matched perfectly with some hidden records in their clan. Despite previously making a promise to Xiao Yin, they could only proceed this way now. You mean there? Upon hearing this, the five-legged golden crow immediately became engulfed in flames, seemingly wary of the place Feng Luan mentioned. At this point, it's our only option. The core of the heavenly Phoenix domain, the Sky Tree. Feng Luan's expression grew complicated, and when those words were mentioned, a slight tremor could even be heard in their voice. The Sky Tree is the gateway to the Phoenix clan. It's not that we can use this ancient tree to enter their territory directly, but the tree itself contains something called Phoenix Stone. If we find it, we can break through the void and enter the Phoenix clan's land without any trouble. The Phoenix Stone is a special stone imbued with the Phoenix aura. Once obtained, we can ignore the rules of time and directly step into the Phoenix clan's territory. Throughout history, this rule has never failed.